Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to English grammar class. I am Miss Anne and our topic for today is phrasal verbs. So this is English grammar class with Miss Anne and we're learning about phrasal verbs today. So a phrasal verb is a verb that combines with a preposition or an adverb to give a new meaning to a word. For those who don't know, a preposition is simply shows relationship between objects. So example of a preposition you have on, like the book is on the table, I am standing beside the bookshelf, I am sitting on a chair, I am writing on my book. You understand? I am reading with. So those are your prepositions. They simply show relationship between noun and an object. So for your facial verb, so a facial verb is a verb that usually combines with preposition. So you're going to have action plus preposition, action plus preposition, and then the meaning is always different. So some of the examples we have over here, we have pick up. Now when you pick something, pick is an action. Now pick up, pick up, get on, turn off, put down, hold on. So I'm sure we've heard words like this. In fact, we use words like this every day, but we are not aware that those words we are using are called facial verbs. So you know that those words are facial verbs. So like we said earlier on, the meaning, facial verb gives new meaning. Now sometimes the meaning can be something you have to figure out. Okay, it's called figurative meaning. And sometimes the meaning can be literal, like what you see, that's exactly what it means. If I say sit down simply means sit down. You don't have to start thinking whether I'm trying to say something tricky. I don't mean anything else other than sit down. When I say stand up simply means stand up. So you don't have to think about it and start racking your brain to find out what I mean by stand up. But for figurative meaning of facial verbs, you have to think about it because I'm saying something, but it's not exactly how it sounds. So for example, when I say make up, make up simply it's maybe you and somebody were having a fight and then after some time you have cooled down, the person also calmed down, then two of you come to settle your argument. That's when you use the word make up. So the siblings they made up. Okay, so makeup is different. You can have your makeup where you apply on your face. So this kind of makeup simply means settling a fight or settling an argument. So you see that you have to think about that one. So let's look at more examples with the literal meaning of facial verbs and the figurative meaning. So literal meaning we have look up. So when I say look up, you simply just look up. So he looks up to the sky. It just means you just raise your head upwards to face the sky. So he looks up to the sky. That is literal meaning. So what I say is exactly what I mean. For figurative meaning, look up can also mean something different. So you can have look up whereby you just raise up your head and you're looking up. Then look up can also mean to search. So she looks up the word in the dictionary. So you see, she's not looking up the word in the dictionary. She's searching for the word in the dictionary. So you can see the same word but different meaning. So look up to mean to just literally look up, and then look up to mean to search. So we have different types of phrasal verbs. We have the transitive verb, we have the intransitive verb. Under the transitive, we have separable and the inseparable. Now, for your transitive, it always needs an object to make sense. No object receives action. So if there's no object, it's not complete. It doesn't make sense. It always feels as if something is missing. But for your intransitive, it doesn't need an object. So you can just say it like that and it will make sense. They'll get the message that is being passed across. Example, she showed up. So I don't need to say where she showed up to. Like I don't need to say she showed up to the party. If I say she showed up, you understand? Oh, she showed up. Maybe we're having a discussion. I say, oh, she showed up. It makes sense. You're not confused about it. The machine broke down. When I say the machine broke down, there's no object in that sentence. Like the machine, we're talking about the machine. It broke down. Okay, so there's no update, nothing, but it still makes sense. So that's your intransitive verb. So intransitive verb, you don't need an object for them to make sense and be complete. But for your transitive, it needs an object for it to make sense and for it to be a complete sentence. So you have two types of transitive verb, the separable and the inseparable. Now, for the separable kind of transitive verb, your verb and the particle can be apart altogether. Now, the particle simply means the preposition. So, the verb and the preposition, they can be apart or they can be put together and it makes sense. So, you can put them together like right by each other, or you can split them. Maybe there'll be a word in the middle to separate them, and it will still make sense. But for your inseparable, the verb and the preposition they have to be together. They must be used together. If you separate them, it's not going to make sense at all. But you understand what I'm saying? Better let's look at some quick examples. So we have the separable, we have the inseparable. Look at pick up. Remember that separable means they can be separated or they can be put together. So whichever one you choose, it will still make sense. Now using the phrasal verb pick up, the verb there is pick, the preposition there is up. So when you want to separate it now, I will pick my brother up. You can see that the pick up is separated. I will pick. Then my brother is separating pick and up. So I will pick my brother up. It makes sense. And I can start to put it together and say, I will pick up my brother. It still makes sense. Or I can decide to split it by saying, I will pick him up. So I've given my brother a pronoun. So the pronoun of my brother is him. Where that pronouns are words used instead of the noun. So instead of saying my brother, the brother is a boy, so his pronoun is going to be him. So I will pick him up. So you can see that pick up is being used together and it's being separated. Either way, it makes sense. But for inseparable, look after. Look after. If I say who looks after the baby, it has to be together. You can see that they are right by each other. So who looks after the baby? It makes sense. Who looks after her? It makes sense. So if I want to change the baby to a pronoun, baby could be a boy or a girl. So in my own case, baby is a girl. So who looks after her? You can see that look after, they are still standing just by each other. When I say who looks the baby after, I'm trying to separate it. It makes no sense. Or who looks her after? It makes no sense. So inseparable, they have to be together. The verb and the preposition should be together for them to make sense. So looking at another example, you have they've called off the meeting. They've called off the meeting. So you can see that call off. I'm using the phrasal verb call off. Now call off simply means to cancel. It means to cancel. It doesn't mean to call the meeting and say meeting is off. No, it just simply means to cancel. So they've called off the meeting. They've cancelled the meeting. So you can see call off, the facial verb is together. Then when I say they've called the meeting off, now I've put the meeting to separate call and off. It still makes sense. And I can decide to replace the meeting with a pronoun using it. Now, whenever you make use of a pronoun, it must be separated. Whenever you make use of a pronoun, it must be separated. So they've called it off. They've called it off. So you can see that that makes sense. So instead of saying they've called the meeting off, I'm saying they've called it off. So it's separated. But if I say they've called off it, it doesn't make sense. So anytime you're making use of a pronoun, you must separate your facial verb. So some common examples of facial verb, we have put on, we have tear up, set up, tidy up, write down, run off. Now these ones have literal meanings. When I say put on means what it is. It means put on your jacket, like wear it. Tear up means to like separate it, split it. Tear up the paper, set up, tidy up, write down, run off. So these ones have literal meanings. So you don't have to think twice about what I'm trying to pass across to you. But looking at this other set of examples, we have take after, let down, wash over, call on, make of, spring on. Now, these are other examples of phrasal verbs, but these ones have figurative meaning. You have to figure it out. Take after. Take after doesn't have a literal meaning. It simply means he looks like. If you say he takes after his dad, he resembles his dad, he looks like his dad. Okay, let down. Let down means like you are disappointed. You really let me down. So that means you really disappointed me. Now, wash over. Wash over simply means I don't care. Like I'm not bothered. I'm not moved about something. I'm washed over it. I'm not bothered about it. Now, call on. When you say call on simply means to visit. So call on somebody, call on a friend, that's to visit a friend. Make off simply means to escape. So the prisoner made off. The prisoner is making off. So that is the prisoner is escaping. Spring on simply means like to surprise somebody. Okay, so you can see that these ones you have to figure them out. So this is showing you that we have a lot of facial verbs, so many of facial verbs that we have out there. Some of them have literal meaning. What you see is what they mean. Others have figurative meaning. You have to figure it out for yourself. So facial verbs, you have to learn them. Okay, I can't give you all the facial verbs and I can't give you all the meanings. So some of them you are good to go with them. What they say is what they mean. Others you have to learn what they mean. Okay, so keep practicing. So facial verbs are an important part of the English language, and understanding how to use them can help to improve your communication. Like I said, we make use of facial verbs all the time. Make use of facial verbs all the time. Sometimes we can say spot on. So we have so many facial verbs we make use of, and then we just learned that they have literal meaning, they have figurative meaning. So for the figurative meaning, you have to learn what those facial verbs mean. So we make use of them in communication. And whenever you make use of them, they help to improve your communication. we sound cool when we use facial verbs. So keep practicing them, okay? And with that, we have come to the end of today's English grammar class where we just learned about facial verbs. So thank you so much for listening. See you in our next class.